Hello. Welcome to Blue Pill Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is November 6th, 2025. So, a little bit of an update. I did not put out a video yesterday. Well, and the reason why is I did film one after work yesterday. It decided to cut off halfway through. I don't know what. I don't know if I hit a button, what's going on. And the thing is where I record from my phone. I need to honestly probably download some form of video maker onto my phone. Since I'm trying to get more into content creating and stuff. Me and Sammy, we'll have to figure that out, do some inside baseball, behind the scenes shit. So yeah, I filmed a full episode, but it was in two parts, and I just got frustrated, I deleted it. I am feeling under the weather, I'm having some leg troubles. I don't know what's going on with my legs. They literally are sore as fuck. I soaked them tonight. I'm having horrible sore throat. So if my voice doesn't sound the greatest, that's what's going on. Apparently, dude, I have a coworker who, I don't know, they're having respiratory problems. Everyone at work right now is getting sick. And I just got sick 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. I think it's still 2 weeks ago. I just got sick as a dog. I'm tired of getting fucking sick, man. But yeah, one thing I do have to say is, Daniel, you gave me some money through Buy Me a Coffee. I sent your sticker off today. I did do that today. So, in a weird way, even if I'm not podcasting, I still was it's kind of exciting, dude, because this is the second time that I've had to go to the post office, within the past couple weeks, of people supporting me with Buy Me a Coffee, my channel, and I'm super fucking grateful, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna gush a little bit, but it's so fucking cool to just walk into the post office and be like, hey, I need to send this sticker off to Australia, is where I had to send it off today, and I'm not gonna tell your address. And by the way, Buy Me a Coffee, all the messages are private, because I know Daniel was a little paranoid about it, and I get it. It's all private. Unless I tweet it or share it or screenshot it, which I'm not going to do that to you, man. It's all private. You'll get your sticker. It's through snail mail. So, when it shows up in Australia from Kentucky, God knows when, you know. But I sent it out. But, it, to me, man, it felt like such a privilege and such an honor. And because I want to do this for a living one day. Is that going to happen? Probably not. I'm a realist, you know. But it is my American dream to become a podcaster full time. So I've had to hustle, not even just podcasting behind the mic, but hustling on the side, of going to the post office. I gotta mail this off. Running errands for the podcast. And it for the first time, it's wow, I'm actually making some money off of this shit. And I'm doing side hustle shit. I'm not just talking shit behind the microphone. And it was it was a good feeling, because it was wow, this is actually kind of giving me a taste of what it would be like if this was a full-time job. And I don't know, it's just, I'm grateful. I'm super fucking grateful, man. You guys are blessing me so much. But anyways, so bear with me. My throat's a little sore. We're gonna do a review on Quest for Camelot. So first things first, I got this game for $5. There's the cart. And there was like 3 or 4 copies at the place that I got it from. It's called Quick Flips. On a previous podcast, I'd kind of shouted them out. And by the way, they're an awesome store. It's a new up and comer within Lexington as far as like retro gaming market. They're cool as fuck. So I got that cart for $5. It's made by Titus and WB Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, by the way, has been, in my opinion, as far as working with the Nintendo, as far as retro gaming market, Warner Brother Games has been excellent. I did an entire playlist, go check it out, on Harry Potter, because to sum it up quickly and not rant like a maniac, I've been going through the Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance library this year. I'm playing on a SP, actual hardware. I don't want emulators. I don't want to play on the Switch. No, I want the real deal Holyfield. So I went through the entire Harry Potter series except for 2 carts. I have not gotten those 2 carts, and I have not. If I run across them, I'm going to play them. There's a whole little side story. Go check out the Harry Potter playlist. But Warner Brothers, I feel like, as far as Game Boy carts, Game Boy Color, and this is a black cart, which means if you know anything about Game Boy Color, anything that is black cart means that it's compatible with original Game Boy. Zelda Link's Awakening DX is a black cart. Grand Theft Auto is a black cart. Men in Black 1 is a black cart. I've reviewed all those. Those are all black carts. So a lot of people don't know that. The clear carts are Game Boy Color only. And SP, obviously. But, yeah, if it's a black cart, you can play it on Game Boy. Original gray brick Game Boy. But WB, I feel like Warner Brothers always puts out good games. So this game has a lot going for it. I have not beaten it. And the reason why I'm reviewing it early is because I have not beat it, but I broke the game. This reminds me a lot of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, which I reviewed it. Go check it out. This game is broken. But I kind of knew that I was going to break it going into it. So it's a Zelda clone. Let's just start with that. It's a Zelda clone. But here's the thing. With Zelda Link's Awakening, you're able to save anywhere at any time. And it doesn't cost rupees. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free to save. Here's the thing with Zelda. So with Zelda, when you save, you automatically restart at the last portal that you went through. And by portal, I mean like a doorway, cave opening. It has to be an entryway, a portal. You know, I'm not being metaphysical, I'm being literal. Porthole, you know. This, when I first found out that, I'm like, oh, because a lot of people were comparing this to Link's Awakening. And I get it, because like back in the day, this was like the only other thing comparable as far as like a Zelda clone of Link's Awakening, because this is a black cart. This was the early days of Game Boy Color. Um, so that reminds me of, honestly, like Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Blue, the original Pokemon games of like you can save anywhere at any time. But here's the thing with Quest for Camelot. You have to have 30 gems in your pocket to save. So that right there was frustrating, because it's like, now you're limiting me. The reason why with Fellowship of the Ring that the game broke was because the game actually was broken. The game is not so much literally broken, but I'm stuck. And it's almost impossible. I'm stuck on a magician, and he's a boss fight. And he moves sporadically. I keep getting him down to like very almost to the end. And I saved at one point to where I can battle enemies before I reach him and get enough hearts. But I made the dumb decision to save right before I fight him. And all those enemies disappeared. And I can't leave the cave, because the enemies disappear after you defeat them, but reappear if you exit that area and come back. My dumbass fucking saved right before the boss fight, and I can't leave the cave. So I'm going in, my max is like 6 hearts, and I'm going in with fucking 3 hearts, fighting this stupid magician. And I've tried like 10 times now. It's broken. But the thing is, it's not the game's fault. I knew I shouldn't have did it. But I was just testing the software. I was testing the hardware, just seeing what it was capable of, and just fucking around and finding out. And so automatically, dude, it's not going to get the best rating, but it's not going to get the worst, because you guys know me. I actually play a lot of quote-unquote shitty games as far as like what mainstream reviewers would say, and I really do truly go easy on games. Because at the end of the day, I got this game for $5, and I've been playing it for like a week, you know? And I haven't even beat it. And now that I know how to beat it and what to do now, I can replay this and actually beat it correctly. So, like, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna replay this and beat it. I'm gonna put this on the shelf and take a break, because I'm very, when it comes to gaming, man, like, if you're getting frustrated to the point where you're throwing your controller or you're breaking your system, take a break, stop playing, because you're gonna break shit, and that shit costs money. And 2, it's like the whole point of blue pilling and playing video games is to escape reality, because this is a hellish reality. I'm very Gnostic, not trying to get metaphysical, but I'm very Gnostic, and we live in a hellish reality. We did not choose to be here. So, yeah. Like, if you're not playing and having fun, take a break. So, just a little teaser. My next game I'm playing is Beyblade's V-Force for Game Boy Advance. That'll be my next game review. One thing that I liked. The music is banging. Because you guys know me, man. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with multiple carts that I've gotten. And I don't know if it's the cart that is damaged, because you gotta think, man, I'm playing retro. I'm going through the Game Boy library. So some of these games are like 30 years old. Or younger, but still like 20 something years old, 20 to 30 years old. So it could be the cart that is damaged, because I have come across like broken carts to where the game still works, but the audio is either super quiet or there's a buzz, like a bzzz, like just nonstop that you can't fucking fix. So it could be that. So when I first bought this game, it was like basically in a dusty shoebox. And there's like 3 or 4 other copies of this game in there. I almost bought all of them just for shits and giggles. Like, hey, I'm going to have like 3 or 4 copies of Quest for Camelot. But I just picked this one up. It was the nicest looking one. And I was like, I kind of went through and I was like, which one looks the best? And I'll pick it up. $5, Can't beat it, dude. You really can't. But the opening scene is like still frames. I'm not expecting, because it's a black cart. They didn't know during the black cart period. It was like when Game Boy was fading out and Game Boy Color was fading in. So they didn't know at the time what the Game Boy Color was capable of. And yeah, they just didn't know at the time. It was like one of the very first games on the Game Boy Color, and it was bisexual. It was Game Boy and Game Boy Color. It's a black cart. So when you first start the game is completely silent. There's no intro music, there's no theme song music, it's just the title. It says Titus Games, which, by the way, Titus Games, not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of them. As far as I know, they created like Crash Bandicoot, maybe like Sly Cooper, maybe the Spyro games were pretty good. I can't remember. Are those Titus Games? I don't know. I could go through the Titus game list, but anytime I seen Titus, I was like, ugh. I'm not a big fan of Titus games. But this one is actually pretty decent. Because it is a Zelda clone. Which, by the way, I went through and played all the Zeldas throughout the year. Go check out the Zelda playlist if you're a fan of Zelda. That's one of the big reasons I picked this game up, was I was like, oh, this is a Zelda clone and it's $5? Fuck yeah. I can get that Zelda itch kinda scratched. You know what I mean? But anyways, like the intro to the game, it's a slideshow of images from the movie. They're not actual images from the movie. Sometimes it feels like it is, but sometimes it feels like it's not. That's my cat busting through the door. Hang on just a second. And I didn't really get to watch this movie as a kid, so I kind of had the same thing with my last game review, which was Treasure Planet. Go check it out. It was something that I was super attracted to, seeing the commercials, seeing bits and pieces, maybe scenes here and there, or catching like the end of it on cable TV back in the 90s or whatever. It was a movie that I didn't get to experience, and as a fan of animation, I need to honestly go back and watch this shit. Like Treasure Planet, my last game review, I was like, dude, I need to sit down and watch Treasure Planet, because I love animation. Like, I'm a huge fan of Samurai Jack, Courage the Cowardly Dog, which, by the way, Courage, they're coming out with a new game for Courage. And I covered a Samurai Jack game. I love animation, so I need to actually go back and watch this movie. Storyline is excellent. It's basically like, you're the daughter of a knight at the round table. And there's this evil knight who's like getting greedy, he's like basically saying like he wants to overthrow King Arthur. He wants to be king. He wants more property than the other knights of the Round Table. His name is Reuben or Rogan, something like that. Joe Rogan. I'm just kidding. Um, but he wants to like overthrow it, so he ends up hiring a wizard who is kind of like his Saruman, you know. Um, he wants Excalibur. So you're like the daughter of a knight, and it is. I have always liked playing as females. I don't know why. I'm a weirdo. Um, you guys know me. I'm a weird fucking dude. So I always like playing as females. So it was kind of cool to be playing as a female. There's another Zelda clone that resembles this quite a bit for Game Boy Color. It's a Xena game. Xena the Warrior Princess. I'm gonna pick it up one day, but it's like it's pretty expensive. I think it's around like $40-$50, man. But I'll pick it up and review it. So, yeah, there's not a lot of audio during the title sequences, but the actual audio that is played throughout the game is pretty banging, and it's pretty fucking catchy. I know like other game reviewers were like, "Oh, it's monotonous, it's repetitive, it'll drive you nuts." It didn't drive me nuts. Maybe that's because I already am nuts. Um, and I've said it before on previous podcasts that I'll sit here and do, because if I'm in complete silence, I will sit here and like argue with myself, the voices in my head. But when I have music, it's kind of nice. Sometimes, like when there's no music, I'll sit there and hum or sing the same verses over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I probably look like a crazy person to someone standing there on the sidelines watching me, but it makes the voices in my head shut the fuck up. So, but anyways, like I actually found myself when I wasn't playing the game, like I've been humming. There's 3 or 4 melodies, because they do reuse. I do have to say that. They do reuse, like, the same 3 or 4 melodies in this cart. Over and over again. But I found myself, it was like catchy tunes, man. I found myself, like, humming this shit, you know? So one thing that I do have to say, because a lot of people, other game reviewers, and yes, I watch other game reviewers because I'm curious. Like, obviously these are bigger channels, so they're professionals, you know. And it's like, so as someone who's just starting out with only 500 subs, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch these other people and see what they think about it, and kind of following some people's footsteps. There's nothing wrong with being like, hey, you got skin in the game, let me see how you're doing it. So, everyone's been comparing this to Link's Awakening, which is my favorite game as far as the Zelda series. I don't know if it's my favorite game ever. It might be my favorite game ever. I don't know. I have to think about that one. That's a hard question, and then I can't answer it. But it might be my favorite game ever. And I reviewed it, so go check out the Link's Awakening review. But everyone has been comparing this to Link's Awakening. So first of all, those are big boots to fill. But second off, there are some, actually, as weird as it sounds, there's actually certain things that this kind of one-ups Link's Awakening. So, like, one thing is like, you have RPG elements in this, just like Zelda. But one thing that you don't have in Zelda is sword strength. So, your strike getting stronger. which would be like a RPG element of like strength, you know. They don't have that in Zelda. The only thing they do with Zelda is like your hearts get bigger. But your sword strike is always the same. It never gets stronger. On this, there's actual levels, like the max level is 6. So, well, the only Zelda that you can actually like level up your sword strength as far as levels, not actual new swords, would be Zelda 2, which I reviewed that. So go check out that review, Adventure of Link. But yeah, I don't know if they, I mean, they obviously were copying Zelda making this game. I mean, it's a Zelda clone, but yeah, so that was kind of nice to have like RPG elements of like, yeah, I can get stronger. Another thing that they kind of one-upped Zelda a little bit as far as Link's Awakening was which they one-upped Zelda, but Zelda caught on in the GBA era rather than the GBC and GB era, was you can do a charging attack. So you get the spin attack, and you get a charging attack where you double tap the directional and press A real quick, and you can charge. So one good thing about the charging attack is it helps you move through levels and alleyways and stuff like that. Like, it helps you move quicker. If you know where you're going, it makes moving quicker. You don't have that in Link's Awakening. You have to just sit here and crawl through. Well, you do. I don't know that. I mean, you can bypass that if you put on the Pegasus boots. So I stand corrected. But so that was kind of nice. But another thing too. So I covered the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons games. The duology for Game Boy Color of Zelda earlier this year. I know I keep going back to Zelda, but this is a Zelda clone. It's unavoidable. Go check out the Zelda playlist, man. I reviewed them all. Oh, the charge attack did come into play is if you have the Pegasus boots equipped with the sword A and B on Link's Awakening, but you automatically get the charging attack if you learn it from a swordsman and Minish Cap, which I reviewed it. Go check it out. Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, they teased at the beginning during a cutscene that you were riding the horse, and they've never, as far as my understanding, they've never done it for a 2D Zelda of all of them that I've played for at least the Game Boy library, of where you can ride Epona, the horse, during gameplay. So you are able to do it in this game. But here's the thing. It's so exciting because it's like, oh, I can ride a horse. You can't do this in Zelda, not for Game Boy, you know. You can in Majora's Mask, I believe, is the first time you can ride your horse during gameplay. But they tease it in Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. The beginning cutscene is literally you're riding your horse. So, like, as a kid, you're excited, like, oh, I get to ride a horse. Kind of like Majora's Mask. Nope. You can in Quest for Camelot. But here's where it sucks. You get a shovel, just like Zelda, and you have to dig up turnips. And you can give it to the horse, but if you're only digging up small turnips, your horse knocks you off. Literally, every 25 seconds, your horse will knock you off. And your horse talks like Artax from Neverending Story, which is funny. I don't know if that was like a shout out from the creators, or I've never seen the movie, like I said, because I grew up in a Christian household. Does the horse talk in the movie? But You have to do a side quest and basically essentially dig up like a big turnip to make it to where your horse doesn't knock you off. But here's the best part. After you dig up the big turnip, it doesn't even fucking matter. It doesn't even fucking matter. You dig up the big turnip and your horse stops knocking you off, but as soon as you get past that part of the game, you literally lose your horse. So, as sad as it is, I have to, honestly, I think this might be probably the lowest rating. I don't know, I'll have to rewatch my Fellowship of the Rings game review, but this might be the lowest rating on the channel. I have to give this a 6 out of 10. But here's the thing, I will replay this after I cool off for a while, and I'll come back to it maybe like a year or two from now and maybe replay it then. But I'm sorry, man. I have to give this a 6 out of 10. Like, it. But here's the thing, though. It was only $5, so it was worth it. It was a lot of bang for its buck. I've been playing this for a week. And there's 3 more carts for $5 each. I'm thinking about buying them up. That's $15, and then flipping it and selling them for $10 each. So I'd be making double the money. So $30. I'd spend 15 and make 30. I don't know. I'm hustling. I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you all for all the support you guys have been giving my channel. It's starting to feel like a job. And not in a bad way, but a good way. It's like, oh wow. It's starting to feel like a career. That's the correct term. Of something where it doesn't feel like work and I'm having fun doing it. I love y'all. And I'm very grateful. Y'all have a good day.